was episode 87. Time marches on.
Did you know that it is now farther... Wait, the 90s are as far ago as the 70s were when it was the 90s?
What? Okay.
So, like, all the shit that we were like, I can't believe that was in the 70s, that's a long time ago.
Right? Now it's the
That's the
90s.
90s
I don't
now.
know. That doesn't make me sad. Like when people say, like, I don't know, Pretty Hate Machine is 25 years old. That makes me sad.
Okay.
That's sad.
Okay.
Okay, we're doing a show now, y'all. Y'all, let's do this, and then I can go eat dinner.
I already have dinner. I'm going to eat on air.
I already had dinner.
Well, you're 3 hours ahead of us, so you're here.
Only 2.
Oh, 2 hours, okay. I see everyone did their trees today, but, well...
I didn't.
Well, the in-laws came over for dinner and tree decoration, and...
Nice. I liked your tree.
Yeah.
It was
It's pretty awesome.
Wait, can we start so that we can talk about this for realsies and
Okay.
get, like, free content?
God,
Oh my
Stop
God.
wasting content.
You know it's bad when Ellie's telling us to hurry up.
No, I just want to talk about trees now. But, like, because this is like an important issue, so let's talk about it.
Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cat Context episode 87 for Wednesday, December 2nd, 2015. We are coming into our final month of the year, which means in future episodes, we're going to have a number of lists, I feel, in our future where we can talk about things. But today, we are going to solve the definitive problem, and we are going to decide once and for all what are the best games of all time. Because
we're going to start with a list.
Yeah, we're going to start with a list, and we're gonna solve conclusively the best game of all time.
And talk about how wrong it is.
That's all we're going to do. It's fine. With me today are my two usual co-hosts. It's Arolaide and Ellyndrial. Ellie, how was your Thanksgiving weekend?
It was really good. My turkey came out really well. I had the best kind of cranberry sauce, and my pie came out well, so that's awesome. And then we went to the zoo, and that was also fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
You say the best kind of cranberry sauce because you made it.
Well, because it's the pure kind of cranberry sauce that doesn't have any nuts or oranges or any of that bullshit in it. It's just cranberries. And
why would you have just cranberries and not oranges?
Because
What's
it's the
wrong
best.
With you?
Because
Jesus
it is
Christ!
The best.
Ugh.
You know, we really are gonna come up with the best game of all time, but cranberry sauce, we can't decide on that for shit. We just can't do it. Era, how's your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was pretty good. We had to host it because we've got more room for all of the children in the world to run around and scream in. And then I sat in a dark, quiet room for a while and pretended I didn't have any family. It was pretty great.
That sounds pretty good.
We have 4 children running around the house, ranging from, let's see, the youngest are 2. They're both 2, and then the eldest is, I think she just turned 7. Maybe 8, I don't remember. Time marches on. And then there's the gup in the middle at 5, and they're so loud. All of them. My God. It's like a herd of elephants on the second story. Very exciting. But then the in-laws also came over today for dinner, and we decorated our tree, and Mary Ftagen.
Yes, I saw your photo on Twitter of your Cthulhu tree topper. It's fantastic.
That is my pride and joy. It is my very favorite thing in the entire world.
Okay, so this seems early for a tree.
What?
We usually do it on December 1st, but since today was a weekend and the in-laws were available, we could make it a whole grandparent thing, and the gup really liked that, and that's...
Do you get a real tree?
We get a real tree, I think, once every 4 years or so, which is exactly enough time to forget how much a pain in the ass a real tree is. And it also extends the life of our fake tree, so...
I wanted to get a fake tree this year, but Vajra was like, no, we're getting a real tree.
No, you get a real tree because it's goddamn Christmas, and it doesn't smell right.
The real tree is currently sitting in a saucepan of water in the living room because we realized that our tree stand is garbage, and we had to order a new one once we got the tree home, so it was a little bit of cart before the horse. But
well,
yeah.
Also, real trees drop needles that tiny children will pick up off the floor and eat, and it can scratch up their insides and make them super sick. And the best possible scenario is it makes their diapers really gross. So,
There you go.
until once you're in that no man's land of will toddler eat pine needles?
There's not a will, it's when, for sure.
Well, yes, exactly. So last year was the last year we were safe that she wasn't going to eat the pine needles, but now, my God, she puts everything in her mouth. She's like a pot-bellied pig, I don't know. A goat, a mountain goat is what I'm raising. Carpet staples are delicious. So we have a fake tree. Fuck you.
Well, so I hadn't completely considered that part of it, but on the other hand,
You will.
it doesn't smell right. It doesn't smell right, and that's like an integral part of the Christmas experience.
That is
But
true.
what I probably will do is continue to get a real tree and just put up the baby pen around the tree so that baby can't go get the tree.
I should think about that because my cats love the tree.
My cats drink the tree water despite all of my efforts to not get them to drink the tree water,
Yeah.
including like 2 different skirts
Yeah.
at different angles, so they like somehow have to pull them apart to line the holes up. I don't know.
Oh, I know. There's nothing better for a cat than like found water. It's like the
Yeah.
best.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Not the
Yeah, no,
like nice
absolutely.
fancy like changed water, even if you and like not even the water like in the like fancy running water fountain things.
Yeah, it doesn't compare to water that's been like sitting at the base of a tree for 3
Yeah.
days.
You spill
Yeah,
any
that's
water
the
on the
best
ground,
water.
that's the best stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think it's too early because, like Yara said, this is like the last weekend day. Like usually I do wait till December, but the weekend day thing, you got to take advantage of it while you can. And life gets real busy. Like my weekends for the rest of the month are rapidly piling up, so you got to get that tree going while you can before
Yeah,
it's too late.
I wonder how long the real trees last because sometimes they are if I get it now if I were to get it now, sometimes it's dying by Christmas. I mean like it's already dying, but like sometimes it's like not doing well and that needles are falling off by Christmas. And other times it's like, hey, it's mid-January and I'm still fine. So
I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to compare notes later on and see how our trees did.
all right.
So today we are talking about the best game ever definitively decided. Okay, I'm being a little cheeky because it's not definitively decided. GameFAQs is putting on a bracket competition to decide the best game ever, and the reason this came to our attention via Ellie, thanks Ellie, was someone kind of snarkily put together a Tumblr which allows us to, compare A versus B and therefore get our own ranking of best game ever. And I think not only did we all have our own different answers as far as the top ones, but also there were like some decisions that were just like gut punching. Like when you compare A versus B, and they're 2 of like your favorite games, you're like, I can't decide. It's Sophie's choice. I love both my children.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of games.
There's a lot of games missing, and the games that are on the list are kind of I don't.
Like who puts Mario Kart 8 but not fucking original Mario Kart or Mario Kart 64?
That also confused me.
Right. So, like, what was the nomination criteria for this list? Was it like, the most definitive, literally the best games, the most, groundbreaking games, which I would understand why Tetris is on there if that's the case.
It says a combination of user nominations, popularity on GameFAQs, and critical and user game ratings.
So they made it up.
So what the fuck is Banjo-Kazooie? Real talk.
Banjo-Kazooie is a pretty good game. Is it like in competition for the best game ever? No.
Why isn't like Guitar Hero on here or any other genre creation game? Donkey Kong Country 2, really?
There were a lot of Nintendo games on there, like old school Nintendo games.
GameFAQs really skews Nintendo word.
That's because Nintendo's the best, clearly, and always has been.
Oh yeah, no, that's clearly the why.
It's more the age of the site, I would say, as a real legit answer. GameFAQs is old.
Yeah.
And there was only Nintendo for quite some time.
So there's a lot of Nintendo stuff on this list. There's a lot of sort of obscure, not JRPGs, but like Japanese story games, like both Virtue's Last Reward and 999 are on there, which I like both those games, but I'm like,
Why are they on this game over, say, Quest for Glory, or God,
No
King's
one's heard of
Quest,
that game either.
or
There was a King's Quest game on here.
is there
No.
seriously?
Was
There's
there?
not a King's Quest game on here.
Wasn't there?
No.
No, there's not a King's Quest game on this list,
No, there's not.
which
But
makes
there
no
is
sense.
there is Kingdom Hearts 2.
And if they're talking about, like, creating, they've got Tetris and Mario Brothers 3 on here, but they don't have, like, Zork
Or Mario Brothers 1.
or Mario Brothers 1 or Super Mario Brothers 1.
Right. Super Mario Brothers 1 is the one I was referring to, but yeah.
You're right. There are some clear and remarkable holes in this.
I really want to
list.
like take this thing again because like when once I got into it, the like CS part of my brain took over, and I was like, what sorting algorithm are they using? And I was like, there were parts where it was like clearly doing like a bubble sort of situation, and
Yeah.
I really just want to like take their sorting algorithm and then for all of the like half of the games that I didn't play or were the wrong version of the game that I liked, just do them as stand-ins. But I didn't know the first time through uh, if a game would come up or not. So it would be fun to do it again.
Like, for the games on the list, my top 10 came out the way I would expect it to, or the way I would have wanted it to if someone had asked me to rank. If you only have these 128 games, what are your top 10? And I got what I was expecting.
I
But
agree. I roughly
there's
ended up with what I was
so
expecting.
many.
Why was there Bayonetta 2 and not Bayonetta? Like,
Right, Bayonetta is so much better than Bayonetta 2. What are you even...
right. That confused me.
Yeah.
And this is the peril of trying to make a best X ever list. I mean, it clearly came from a flawed premise to begin with, because yeah, there are some strange choices on here. As you mentioned, it's very Nintendo heavy. It's very classic game heavy.
You know what it is? It's
It's
classic
PlayStation.
classic or modern heavy, right? There's no sort of like there's like a
I
lot
would
of
say it's classic. Well, how are we defining classic, though?
well,
Because
okay,
this looks like, I mean, it's
late 80s, early 90s.
not really. It seems to it seemed to skew really heavily toward original PlayStation.
Yeah,
That's
true.
true. Yeah, and
I
like
wouldn't.
Nintendo.
I don't like thinking of that as classic, even though it probably is, because I don't like thinking about how old that makes me.
No, it's not. It's like the so the
Neo,
PS
yeah,
it's like the PS4 can emulate PS2 games now or something,
Mhm.
right? Like some versions of the Star Wars PS4 had some games that were like clearly emulated,
Mhm.
right.
and there was a whole like to do about it, but they like haven't said anything about it. And like along with that, I saw all these posts that were like, "Oh my God, it's nostalgia all over again. This is my first system," and I'm like, "That's a fucking PS2, you goddamn young people."
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
So I'm curious. I mean, Ellie, I think all three of us went through and actually did the whole sorting thing for fun because we're nerds and that's the kind of thing we do. I'm curious what sort of games are at the tops of your list, Ellie?
Yeah, I apparently started going for accurate or for speed and not accuracy at somewhere probably 100 plus questions in.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so I think Mass Effect 3 bubbled to the top of my list. Where if I thought about it, I probably would put Mass Effect 2 above 3, although it's close. Um,
Okay.
but I had Mass Effect 3, and then I had Dragon Age Origins, and then I had WoW, and then I had more Mass Effect games, and then I had Borderlands 2, although that was not the best of the Borderlands games, possibly. Uh, Final Fantasy VII, Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye, and Half-Life was my top 10. Which is odd because it's not really how I would have thought of it, and there are games that are much farther down on my list that I would probably have had higher or wanted to have had higher. But that's what I got.
Mass Effect 3, huh? All right.
So to be fair, all right. So outside of the fact that clearly I confused Mass Effect 2 and 3 at various points in this this exercise, um, Mass Effect 3 is actually a really good game. The gameplay is very fun, and everything outside of the last 10 minutes is basically awesome. Fan service to the whole series, and I didn't find the ending to be nearly as intolerable as many people did.
I still
So
haven't finished it. I'm the worst.
So weird. How can you? Okay, Era, what were your top games on the top of your list?
Okay, it's gonna take a while to go through my top 10 because I've got a lot of ties.
Okay.
My top game is Final Fantasy X, which is in fact correct, even with a list of all of the games in the universe. That would be my top game. Well, it would be in a three-way tie. But the other two games in my top game in the three-way tie are not on this fucking list because whoever made this is an idiot.
And apparently not
I
a
was
Game
I
Pass
was like,
user.
where is the dig?
Yeah, exactly. Where's anything LucasArts or Sierra? Nothing. Oh, well, yeah.
I thought there was one somewhere.
There may have been one in here. Well, there's Cave Story, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
And then that's followed by Suikoden 2, which I would, okay, that's fine, and Chrono Trigger, which were tied for the number 2 spot. And then I have a tie between Assassin's Creed 2 and Knights of the Old Republic. And then a three-way tie. No, I'm sorry, this is just a two-way tie with Silent Hill 2 and Mass Effect 2, which, by the way, was a question I got at like number 36. And that was just completely unfair. So it ended up tied.
Did it actually give you ties?
Yes, it did.
I got ties.
Oh, cool. I didn't get
Yeah, Silent Hill 2 and Mass Effect 2. Then Original Flavor Mass Effect, Final Fantasy VI, Ocarina of Time, Dragon Age Origins, Baldur's Gate 2, and Final Fantasy IV round out my top 10 with many, many ties. And then immediately after that is Link to the Past, Symphony of the Night, and Journey.
What the heck is Suikoden 2? I've never even heard of that before.
Okay, so
And how if it's like one of your top games of all times, have you not talked about it in all?
Because it is not for this crowd. It's just not. It's not. It's not for you.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that. I'm trying to decide if I should be outraged or not.
No, it is the grindy game in the whole wide world.
It's for core.
I don't even know if Chorus played Suikoden. It's we'll see. It is the most Japanese JRPG in the world. It's based on ancient folk tales about 108 stars of destiny, and each one of those 108 stars is a character that you have to go find and recruit. And there's wars and tactical battles, and it's very difficult to explain. 2 is the best of the series. I will fucking fight anyone who disagrees with me, in case anyone who listens to this thinks they like 3 or 4. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Come to the podcast in the next 10 minutes if you want an ass kicking.
And the cool thing about it is, at least between 1 and 2, because I don't give a shit about anything else, time actually passes. And so characters that you knew as, scruffy punk assholes in the first game are now grown-up generals in the second game, and it's really cool. And there's also an Iron Chef minigame, and it's just I can't describe it, and I can't even tell you to play it because you would never ever in a million years want to play it. It would be like playing Galaxies all over again, where once you're there at the end of the game, you look back and you're like, man, this is so much fun. And then you try and start it again and you're like, holy shit, there's so many characters, everything is hidden, why is there so much grinding? I don't understand.
That's a good summary of my Galaxies experience, yes.
But it's, yeah.
All right. Well, look, it was on the list, so clearly you're not alone.
Right. So what I was going to say was there are a very few moments in my game playing history, RPG playing history, where I've come across something happened in the game that seemed so wrong that I thought I had done something to do this, and I would revert hours and hours of saves. One of those was the death of Leandra Hawke in Dragon Age 2, which still makes me angry. And another one was in the first Suikoden, where a particular character martyrs himself, and I'm like, wait a minute, why is he dead? What? No, what happened there? And I started the game all over, like 70% of the way through, because Gremio is not supposed to die. What the shit? And
Wow.
that's what Suikoden is. That kind of thing.
That explains a lot. That does. All right, so I've got Mass Effect 2 as my first game, because obs. And I clearly I didn't play a lot of Nintendo growing up, so like my last half of my list is all Nintendo. But Mass Effect 2, Portal 2, Mass Effect original, because I think the original is really good.
It is very good.
It is.
Mine is immediately after Mass Effect 2 on my list, so.
There you go.
It is on mine too, but somehow Mass Effect 3 jumped it.
You never know. Super Mario 64 is the one Nintendo game that appears in my top 10. Because that's a great game, and I spent a lot of time. It came out I was at the right age to play a lot of Super Mario 64.
It's also very good.
Yes. World of Warcraft, Dragon Age Origins, Portal, Bioshock, KOTOR, Final Fantasy VII, Mass Effect 3, Persona 4. That's my list, my top 10.
Every time I look at these lists, I think about ranking them under different circumstances over and over again, right? Like, best game ever is such a like generic category.
And it's so super loaded too.
Like, well, it is, and there's games like
what game ever? If
I were to sit down today with Super Mario 64, I would not have as much fun with it as I did then. But that doesn't, so it's hard to compare it with like Undertale. I mean, how the fuck do you compare those two games? Like, seriously.
Right, like Mario 64 was the first, I think, or certainly the first big 3D game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nobody had figured out camera controls yet, so the camera control sucks. Without Super Mario 64, would Ocarina of Time been made? And like Ocarina of Time is fantastic third-person game.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so it was clearly groundbreaking, and it was good, even with camera flaws. But like, coming from anybody who's played a modern game with like, hey, a stick to look around, right?
Right. Trying to play that now would just be so frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm used to much better controls, whereas at the time it was mind blowing. It was amazing. Mario could run around, and you could see him run in circles.
Yeah, and Donkey Kong countries were similar, right? Like they were sort of 3D rendered, kind of, even though I think they were still sprites. I don't know, but like at the time, the graphics were amazing. The gameplay was super fun, and now I'm like, this is just not that good anymore. Still pretty fun, but not nearly the same. And like, so many platformers are better.
So it's really hard to compare those, and even just to compare games to each other. Like, you can compare Mass Effect to Mass Effect 2, but I'm looking at my list, like
kind of
Binding of Isaac to Metal Gear Solid 3. Like, what are our qualifications for like?
And how drunk are you?
Right.
And which game did you play?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of it was just if I didn't play it, then it's at the bottom of my list because I have no opinion. Or there's some games that I haven't played but I feel warmly towards anyway, and those get bumped up totally unfairly over games that are possibly better. I thought that there's a real lack of new games on there. Like there was Undertale, Walking Dead, Life is Strange.
I felt like there were a lot of weird, like modern-ish indie games.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there was.
I mean, I don't know. There was also like Destiny and which I've played a lot of, but is not my best game ever, right? And there was Last of Us was on there, and
right, yeah,
which again was a good game, but not my best game ever. The Uncharted series was on there, or at least 2.
Yeah, 2 was.
But I mean, I don't know. It's a very strange set of lists going in.
It is, yeah, and it's just hard to do that. Like I have 42 and 43 on my list are Banjo-Kazooie and Journey, and I'm amused at putting those two next to each other. They're like two totally opposite games.
Well, Journey is another one, right? Like Journey was super fun and very, very interesting, but like best, like I don't even know that it should be in best game ever category because there's like no game there.
Well, I wouldn't say there's no game. It's a different kind of experience. That's the thing. If you don't have criteria for your list, then what's the point?
Yeah,
Like,
it's not.
Journey is incredibly beautiful.
Yes,
Incredibly beautiful
yeah,
and an amazing score.
and very, very interesting. Like, and the fact that there were sort of puzzles and the multiplayer mechanic of it was really interesting, and like not being able to communicate was super cool. But um, I guess it's not. I guess it's more like a interactive experience than a game.
Right. Which is
Yeah.
fine, but
Sure,
what,
yeah,
again,
absolutely.
Oh,
what's
it's
the
totally
criteria?
fine. Yeah, no, I'm super in for that. But like, yeah.
Yeah, or like, some of the visual novel games like 999 where I mean it's cool, but it's not like it's not really necessarily a game. It's more of like an experience and storytelling, which is super cool, but how do you compare that to something that actually like Bloodborne where, mechanics are essential and you got to time your rolls right to get your invincibility frames or whatever the hell people who play Bloodborne do. It's such a weird. I don't know where they come up with these games and how you can possibly, I mean, despite the
Yeah.
fact that we all did it, how you can possibly ever actually compare beyond anything except for gut. I like this game. I like this game a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you're supposed to do, but like, I also just found it hard to be like comparing a bunch of games that I played when I was 15, right? Like to each other. I mean, I know more or less how I rate the Final Fantasy games, but not really. And I certainly don't know how I would rate like, GoldenEye versus Perfect Dark. Okay, that one I do, but like, you know, but like, you know, kind of what I mean, right? Like there's a lot of these games that we played 15 years ago now,
Mm-hmm.
and 20 years ago maybe, and who the hell knows exactly how I felt about it. I mean, I haven't gone back and played those games again.
That's true. There's a lot of my answers relied on gaming experiences from 20 years ago, and I kind of remember playing it and remember enjoying it, but,
Well, and
more
then on top
so
of
than I've
yeah,
enjoyed other things in the last 5 years? I don't know.
yeah, like you just literally can't know that answer.
No, no. Era, what's like the biggest omission from this list for you?
I found it personally offensive that they have Assassin's Creed 2 on here, but they don't have Sands of Time,
Mm. Sands of
which
Time was a really good game.
that's again, that's part of my three-way tie.
Yeah.
And
That sold me on that. It sold me on that whole genre.
exactly, that created the free-running genre that's everywhere now, and it's not on this list. What in the fuck are you thinking?
Ellie, same question. What was obviously missing for you?
I I don't know. Like, cause my top games are not wouldn't expect to see on here. My top game,
What's your top game?
which is Gemstone 4, 3 or 4, depending on what version they're on now. It's a mud that I played for like 10 years and got me into RPGs and role playing in general, and that is a big standout for me, but like wouldn't be on this list.
Yeah, this list clearly neglected huge swaths of genres. Like Ari, you mentioned Guitar Hero before. You're talking about MUDs. The big one for me that wasn't on that list that would be on my list of best games ever would be Space Cam. The best puzzle game of all time. There are no simulators.
Is it better than Tetris?
There's no SimCity on here.
I was going to say there's no simulators at all on there. There's
Uh,
no
Yeah,
Out,
any kind of
were
simulators, which
there
is
any
like a huge
MMOs
thing.
outside of WoW?
No,
no.
no, only WoW.
I mean, there like Ultima Online wasn't on here.
No.
Not that like I personally liked Ultima Online because it kind of ate away a bunch of the people that played Gemstone with me because of graphics. But I mean that was the beginning of that genre.
Right, or even like
Right.
EverQuest, which was WoW before WoW. I mean, you got to give respect to that. So, yeah, no, there was really very passing reference to some genres, and others were skipped over
I
completely.
mean, I think early Mario Kart games are a pretty glaring omission versus Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, what was up with
that sort of messed me up. I was like, you don't put the Super Nintendo Mario Kart or Mario Kart 64?
Right,
Like,
I was
either
ready
one
to
of
vote for
those.
Mario Kart 64, but I'm like, Mario Kart 8, I don't even know which one that
It's the
is.
Wii U one. It's the newest one.
Well, then definitely no.
I mean, it is supposed
And
to
it's
be very, very good.
don't have the original Mega Man on here.
Right. They don't have any Mega Mans prior to 10, so
right,
that's
which doesn't make any sense.
and
It's
10 was a different game. Was 10 the one that was the like different game?
I think so.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
the
that
X.
one
I
was
think X
more
was a different game, and then
less actiony and
I think it was more like it wasn't like here's the screen of the bosses, go fight them, which was like
right.
the core of the early Mega Man games. It was more like trying to tell a story in Mega Man world.
And that's not the way it works.
I mean, it was a good game,
But it's not.
it's not
Yeah.
the same as Mega Man 3 or whatever, right?
Right.
Um, was
And
another
again,
one.
nothing from LucasArts or Sierra. Nothing
Mhm.
from the classic era of point and clicks. Nothing.
It was
Not
really,
even like they missed the best ones. There's nothing.
it's really like RPGs and Nintendo. Like that's like the bulk of
I
what was
mean,
going on.
that's probably the people you're going to get to vote on a thing like this.
Oh, sure. I mean, hey, I mean, there were some legitimately great games on the list, so it's not like they were ignoring whatever. The other, and this is not anything to do with this list, but it was just sort of interesting going through how many sequels there were. I mean, it just goes to show, I mean, my top 10 has 3 Mass Effects and 2 Portals.
So, was Portal 2 better than Portal 1 for you?
Yes, it was.
Why?
Because I liked the extended characterization in Portal 2 better. There was more of a story, and I enjoyed that more.
Yep. Totally fair.
Yeah.
I was just curious because, yeah, I guess the thing that frustrates me about this list is the number of times that like multiple games from a series showed up while leaving out other series or genres completely.
Or it's not even the best one in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, totally. Yeah, there was some interesting.
There's at least 3 GTA games on here.
That was weird. Hearthstone was on there. Who's gonna say Hearthstone's the best game of all
Oh
time?
yeah, Hearthstone was
Best
like
game
that.
of all
I was like,
time?
why the fuck is this on here? It's not even the best current card game.
I mean, I like Hearthstone. I play it every week, but best game of all time? Come on. Let's get serious now. It's a great game, but yeah. I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, these lists are always stupid, no matter who does them. And if it's true though, if we were to do a list off the top of our head, our lists are stupid.
When we do our end of the year list, it will also be stupid.
It's true. Although, we always very carefully pitch ours, or at least I try to very carefully frame it as.
We usually do it after the fact, right?
Well, yeah, but we do be like, this is our personal best games that we played this year, our favorite game is, the way to do it. And favorite games, I feel, is a different thing from the best games of all time, which is.
I still find it incredibly difficult to rank my favorite game from this year versus my favorite game from 3 years ago, let alone 15.
Yeah. I'm in a completely different place, and I wanted a completely different thing out of a game. Like, there's no way I could play Suikoden 2 now. No way. In any way.
Right, I couldn't play, I missed Skyrim, but I bet if Skyrim had come out when I was in high school or college, I would have played the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, totally. Yeah, like some of those games, like I said, Super Mario 64, I played that a lot. Would I play that so much now? Probably not. No, I don't think so. You're right, there's no city builders on there. How can you have a stupid best game of all time list without SimCity 4? How can you do it? You can't do it.
What about SimCity 2000?
Or any SimCity. Any!
No, not the last one.
Not 2013, but...
But at least then they would have acknowledged the genre.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's good. What's better, Bayonetta 2 or SimCity 2013?
Besides, the best city sim of all time is Afterlife, and no one's ever played that but me. So
I had from some other friends a lot of love for Red Dead Redemption, and this totally reminded me that I really want that game to be on PC.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No.
But I would also like that to happen, because I hear it's really, really good.
I really liked it until the last mission, which basically was fuck you for playing the game this long.
Oh, I see.
No
I
good.
stopped. I stopped well before the last mission.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
It was
It
so
is
much
the
fun.
worst game ending of all time.
Uh, is it the Battlestar Galactica ending of the?
No, it's yeah, I don't know anything about Battlestar Galactica because I like slightly less angst in my escapist fiction. So I never actually
Uh,
watched it.
what was the other one that ended really terribly recently?
Lots of things end terribly. Huh? Endings are hard, and people rarely do them right.
It was okay. Honestly, it was a Forever Night ending, which no one has ever seen that but me either. But it's super
Okay,
Canadian.
hello. I have seen the end of Forever Night. Thank you
Okay,
so
so
much.
that's Red Dead Redemption, only it's cowboys instead of vampires. But that's basically
Okay.
exactly what happens.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yes, CanCon. I love it. We can talk about Canadian television. That's awesome. So I think it's safe to conclude then that lists are stupid, and we all really like Mass Effect.
But lists are stupid, but talking about how stupid lists are is really fun.
That's true. And please tune in 2 weeks when we have our own list.
Oh shit, we're gonna have a list again?
More
Every
lists.
year.
Every year, what is wrong with you?
Every year I think I'm gonna get out of it.
No, you're not getting out of it. Start thinking now about your favorite games of 2015. Ellie, have you played Life is Strange?
No, I bought it though.
Okay. Yeah, I have only put like an hour into it, and it was good, but I was just wondering about, because I saw it on this list of best games of all time. I was like, I wonder if it's that good. Should I really make an effort to play this? I don't know.
I mean, I think it's an episodic, and all the episodes are out now, so
I should knuckle down and play it.
I don't
Okay,
know.
I was just
I don't know.
curious.
I mean, I don't know. I just know that it's complete now.
That means something, definitely.
Yeah, that's a separate topic, but um, episodic games is I've totally like changed my changed my tune on.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do a whole topic on that. Telltale is yeah. They were really, really like Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands, and the Game of Thrones one I hear were both really, really, really slow for episodes, but then the Minecraft one has been super, super, super fast. And
But why would you play Minecraft?
9-year-olds everywhere will be playing that because they love the Minecraft.
Well, did you hear about there's a whole learn to code using Minecraft thing that Microsoft is doing.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Which
cool.
actually seems really cool. Yeah.
Why not? Go kids. Speaking of games that we've been playing, Ellie, what else have you been playing lately aside from lists?
So I finally hit the threshold in Destiny where you can get the good weapons to drop. So that was sweet. It only took me like a month and a half of being like 3 points off.
That sounds obnoxious.
It's really fucking obnoxious. So the way it works is there's like you basically get random drops like engrams or whatever, and then you decode them like you do in Diablo, and then you get a piece of gear, right? But once you hit a average, and they always said average, but it turns out it's actually a weighted average of gear.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
it's a
that.
hidden weighted average, which fucked me because I was doing my math. I'm like, why am I not 300? And it's because it was my guns were a little too low, so that sucked. Once I hit 300, then your engrams can decode for like quite a bit higher, which pushes you higher faster. And then at some point, there's another tier where they always decode at that high level, and I don't know, it's bullshit. Like hidden fucking step functions in gearing is terrible.
Step functions in gearing, period, is terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I beat that. That was cool, and I finally am getting to the point where I've done most of the things I want to do in Destiny. Outside of the raid, which like I don't know, I think I'm too old for raiding now. Uh, just like don't want to go organize my time that way. Just, like makes sense. I played Battlefront. Battlefront is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's getting really mixed reviews. because it feels very sort of old school of a shooter. Like when you look down the sights, I'm not sure you actually get more accurate.
Right.
And I don't know. It's like it's pretty fun. It looks gorgeous, and I get to be a not Jedi, which is exactly what I want out of my Star Wars games, is to not be a Jedi. Um, what
Fuck
else?
you, I love being Jedi.
Yeah, okay. So here, the thing about the Jedi is that uh, Galaxies screwed me over on the Jedi. I liked being a Jedi until I played Galaxies, and then I never wanted to play Jedi again.
You were a Jedi in Galaxies?
No, I was not a Jedi in Galaxy, but there were fucking Jedi in Galaxy, and it sucked.
Well, yeah.
And
I
not just
never
because
made it
of the
that far.
not just because of the mechanics of Jedi, but because Jedi are all powerful wizard gods, and it makes all of the other normals not matter.
I think the Old Republic did really well with that, personally.
Somehow they did okay with it. It's
Yeah.
true.
And that took you a minute. You were trying to disagree with me, but then you were like, "No, wait. Hang on. She's
Yeah, I
actually
don't, but
right."
I still don't know how. So if you understand the canon of Star Wars, and we're gonna go in this direction for a minute, how does
Hi, Core. We love you.
so how does a Jedi not just kill everything in one shot?
Because they can't. They're
What the
not all powerful wizard
But they
gods.
have fucking laser swords.
Yeah, and other people have sniper rifles.
But they can deflect the sniper rifle with their
Not
laser
from the
sword.
back of the head.
And then
They
if
still
they
have to
get
be paying
anywhere close
attention.
to you, then they just all of the books had the which I know aren't canon anymore, but but even in movies and proper canon, lightsabers are infinitely thin and can cut through metal and shit all the time. So how can I get in an extended battle my where my wizard god is slicing the enemy up, but he's just standing there?
I don't understand what you're saying because it's not making any sense.
My lightsaber should cut your arm off.
Not if you're too far away. You don't have
Well, but if it
infinite
hits you,
reach.
or I throw it and guide it with the force, and it hits you,
Not
then you should no
everyone can
longer
do
have an
that.
arm or a body. Your body should be sliced in half, but that never happens.
That's not true, but okay.
Okay, moving on.
You're trying to pick a fight.
I
It
can
doesn't make any
shoot you in
sense.
the
We
face
were
with lightning and you don't
agreeing.
die.
We were agreeing until you decided that agreeing made you feel dirty. So
No.
shut up.
No,
Anyway,
that's what happens.
anyway,
But you're like in Battlefront.
yeah, it's fun.
Good.
I also
Arrow!
I also pre-ordered Just Cause 3 today because it comes out on Tuesday, so I don't feel like I'm breaking my don't pre-order ban.
Yeah, no, that's totally reasonable. That's a reasonable length of time. I said like a week is a reasonable length of time to pre-order a game, I think. Awesome. You'll have to tell us how that is. I mean, it's more Just Cause. It'll be great.
Can't be bad.
Right, exactly. You'll blow shit up and throw
They have
helicopters
base
into
jumping.
buildings.
They have base jumping on. Oh, and a wingsuit apparently. So
Nice.
that'll
That's
be
awesome.
Fun. Yep.
Arrow, what have you been playing lately?
It is the week of my birthday, and I have a tradition where every year I play my 3 favorite games this week.
No, you got quiet.
What? No!
Yeah, your mic went quiet.
God damn it. Well, we're almost
No,
done,
you're
so I'm
good.
not going to reboot. Am I better now? Okay.
Yes.
I jiggled the cord.
Uh-oh. Never jiggle the cord.
It is my birthday week, and I have a tradition where every year on my birthday I just replay my 3 favorite games. So that is what I have been doing.
Happy birthday, Arrow.
Thank you.
Happy advanced birthday.
That, by the way, is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, The Dig, and Final Fantasy X.
So 10, huh?
Yes,
I love 10. 10's fun.
10 is the best.
Nice.
Oh, so I found something hilarious out today. In Final Fantasy Record Keeper,
Oh, for God's sake.
I have I have Wakka's Blitzball,
Okay.
like a special weapon, but
Right.
it is its own category, which is Blitzball, And so all the other people who can use thrown weapons can't use it, even though some of those other weapons are like a fucking pumpkin head that you throw at people from home.
Well, yeah, you have to be a trained blitzball player. Duh, what's wrong with you?
Titus can use the blitzball.
He is also a trained blitzball player. He's
I
a
know.
professional blitzball player.
I
That makes
loved
sense.
playing blitzball. Blitzball was super fun. What a good
Blitzball
minigame.
is super fun. I love. That's basically what I do because I can't finish the entire game in a week. So I play a lot of blitzball and occasionally do some chocobo racing and just summon Shiva over and over and over.
Nice.
Seems reasonable.
Nice.
Hey, Liore, what have you been playing?
Why, thank you for asking. I played a little bit, like the first chapter of Life is Strange, as I mentioned earlier, which seems pretty cool. I'm not really that far into it to make like a final decision on it or anything, but it seems well put together, and I like the whole mechanic of being able to shift back in time to redo conversations and see the way that would have worked out if you'd chosen something else. So. That is neat. I've been really into like min-maxing this week, so I got fully back into Puzzles and Dragons hardcore.
No.
Hardcore. I kind of took a break for a couple months during the summer, but I'm back. I spent
Can you catch
more
up?
money than I should have in the God Fest that's going on right there. Gotta roll up some good gods. And I've been like min-maxing out my teams, and in the spirit of min-maxing, I also picked up Kingdom of Loathing again, which is
Oh, wow.
I'm not allowed to play that game because I will spend hours working on a turn. Like a single turn, I could legitimately put hours into planning out that single turn, and I will. And there's a lot of research, there's a lot of spreadsheets, there's a lot of, you do a turn and then you have to go back to your charts and check out the stats. Oh, there's so much min-maxing, it's glorious. But I'm not really allowed to play it because I will spend my entire life playing that game.
Do you have any interest at all in soccer? Do you have interest in becoming interested in soccer?
Maybe? No one's ever asked me that before.
You should play Football Manager.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I should.
My understanding is that game, I actually have never broken down and bought it. My understanding is that game is like literally a spreadsheet.
Right. I listen to a lot of UK gaming podcasts, and they all really enjoy the Football Manager, so maybe I should look into that as my...
Yeah, and you can usually get the
thing.
old one discounted pretty heavily on Steam. Like last year's pretty heavily discounted on Steam.
That seems like my style. Yeah, I don't know what it's been. Maybe it's just because there's lots of time to play games over the Thanksgiving weekend, and I just fell right back into serious spreadsheet min-maxing. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch all my puzzles and dragons. All the puzzles and dragons. Oh boy, yeah.
I need you to know that I was going to say something shitty about your spreadsheet gaming, and then I remembered that I had to create my own hair mod for Dragon Age so that I could continue playing it.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything we're in the boat. We're both in the same spiral here.
After telling us about hand tweaking your 17,000 hair vertices,
17,842.
I thought it was 18.
I am not going to take any guff from you about spreadsheet gaming because I feel that we're
in the same hell, really.
Very good. So that's it. That's the show.
What about can we talk about Jessica Jones?
No, we can't because we don't have time to get into it with Arrow.
Okay.
There's nothing for Arrow to get into.
Has Arrow watched it?
No, she's not watching it.
No, I'm not, and I will never. And in fact, I had an actual conversation where my spouse said, if it weren't for the entire plot and everything that's going on, you would really like this show.
Yeah, I only watched the first episode, and I completely understand and back anybody who feels that way. So
nothing that skeeves me more than mind control, and that's the entire point. And so, no, can't read comics with her in them. Nothing. No, not for me. I'm glad other people are enjoying it. I'm glad it's good. I would like this television to continue, but not for me.
I actually I'm not actually sure if I want this television to continue because Daredevil also felt like it's different, but Daredevil was also aggressively graphic in places.
Yeah, I could not finish Daredevil either.
Daredevil, which I watched after starting Jessica Jones because I like Jessica Jones so much I had to watch Daredevil. They are actually, they're actually Marvel stuff I will watch, and I will watch the Iron Fist and I will watch the Luke Cage show because I think that Daredevil and Jessica Jones are great.
I don't disagree that it's great television, but I had to watch Gideon Emery get pummeled in a car door, and there was brain matter in places that it shouldn't have been, and by that I mean anywhere outside of the skull cavity, and I love him, and I'm done.
Talon said something. I asked her some questions. She was like, I couldn't deal with Law and Order guy smashing Fenris's head in the car door. So I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
For me, it's Thor. Thor beat Fenris to death, and I can't do it. Yes. That is the problem I have with Vincent D'Onofrio. In my head, he is always Thor from Adventures in Babysitting, because that was the very first thing I saw him in.
Yeah,
You've never seen that movie. You were A, too young, and B, a boy.
I mean, not too young, because people I know watch that, but the second one.
I've seen Adventures in Babysitting. No, I totally respect why people would not enjoy it, but if you are kind of skeptical about superhero stuff, like I have expressed in the past, I give these a shot. They're like non-superhero-y.
I super liked Supergirl because it was cute and funny.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool. I'm gonna put that on my list too.
Ugh, cute and funny. That sounds like the worst.
See, the thing is, I would sign up every week to listen to Jeremy Jordan read the phone book. Well, I watched the shitty second season of Smash just for him.
Do you watch Arrow? What about Arrow?
I have not seen Arrow.
Oh, Arrow is fun.
Just because that was one of those shows that Hulu only did the rolling most recent 5 episodes. Yeah. And so when I was getting ready to watch it, I had to start on episode 6, and I was like, no, what the fuck?
I mean,
and then I forgot.
It's probably a better
6 seasons, and I'm never going to remember to watch it.
The first half of the first season of Arrow is not great, so if you'd started at 6, it probably would have been fine.
Good to know.
All right, well, that wraps up this episode. Wrapping it up. We will be back in 2 weeks, possibly with lists. I can't promise
What sort
anything.
Of list?
We'll have to figure it out. We'll figure out what lists we're going to do this year. And yes, we are doing our 3rd annual trivia competition. That will also be coming up in December, so stay tuned for that. But until then...
Are we going to troll the public for teammates? Because that'd be fun.
Oh, I've thought about it. Don't.
Let's totally do nominations.
I've been thinking about it. No, I'm trying to find you guys teammates this year who actually might know something about games. So.
That's good, because I won't know shit.
I know. So I'm going to see what I can do finding someone who can answer all your questions for you. Makes it easier for me when I make the questions if people know what I'm talking about. Anyway, thank you for watching and/or listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.